Hotel world. Welcome back to Morning Motivation with Matthew Daniels. I'm your host, Matthew Daniels, the writer, author, scribe, and bookworm. But I'm not just a bookworm world. I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever. And may your memory, family, never die. Do something so the future will remember you and honor you. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys a good story. I'm going to be telling you guys about the man who gave his wife a planet. I'm telling you guys a story about a man who gave his wife a planet. And what I want y'all to think about when I'm telling y'all this story, what I'm trying to inspire you with this morning is just the concept of when you wake up today, I want you to be ready and willing to go above and beyond for someone that you care about. I want you to be willing to go above and beyond today for someone that means something to you. I want you to be ready to go above and beyond for your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions. But more importantly, I want you to be willing to go all the way to improve the life and the condition of someone that's around you, family. We're talking about going above and beyond for those that we love. The man who gave his wife a planet. That once was a man, a boring man. He met a woman, a extrovert woman, a spontaneous woman, a woman that just loved to live life. Now, this woman and this man, they fell in love. They got married, they had children, and they were on their way to having a wonderful, perfect life. But all the time, the wife would come to the man and say, "Husband, will you take me out on a date? Husband, will you take me out to this restaurant? Will you take me out to this club? Will you take me out to this comedy event? Will you take me out to this park? Will you take me out to this museum? Will you take me out to this?" You fill in the blank. The woman liked to live life. She liked to go all around, see things that she could see, and she liked to do things. She's on planet Earth. The Earth is big. She liked to see and do things. But the man was unromantic. The man was boring. The man damn near didn't have a romantic bone in his body. Now, he loved the woman more than he loved himself, but he didn't have a romantic bone in his body, and so he never would spontaneously do things like that for the woman. He wouldn't buy roses. He wouldn't buy chocolates. He wouldn't just spontaneously take her out on trips to Jamaica and take her on cruises and take her on flights. He didn't. His mind didn't operate like that, and so the woman began to tell him how it made her feel on the inside that her husband was not as romantic as that she would like him to be, and so she would poke at him out of love, not out of hate. Poke at him about being unromantic. And so the man made it up in his mind that he would do the most romantic thing in the history of mankind. He would give his wife a planet because he knew no man had ever given his wife a planet before. And he knew that with that one fell swoop, if he gave his wife a planet, he would automatically become the most romantic man in history, regardless of what any man had done before him or regardless of what any man would do after him. So he found NASA their location where they had a spaceship that they were going to be sending off to Mars, right? So he found out when they were going to be sending off their next spaceship to Mars, one of their rovers that explores. He traveled all the way to where the launch site was at, and he snuck onto the base, snuck onto the spaceship, and flew all the way to Mars. And when he got to Mars, he snuck off the spaceship, got on to Mars, and he left things that indicated that he was claiming the planet and naming the planet for his wife. And he was claiming that particular portion of the planet for his wife. Now, nobody really knew he did this, so it didn't really mean nothing in the here and now. But years later, like 150 years later, humanity began to colonize Mars. And once humanity began to colonize Mars, they began to live on Mars and expand. They began to dig around, do archaeological digs, try to see if there was any evidence of life on Mars. And then they just so happened to be digging in the area where the husband had left the artifact records of him claiming this area for his wife. And when they found it, the humanity that was on the new planet, they were like, wow, 150 years ago, there was a guy, a husband who loved his wife so much that he snuck on a rocket ship, made it all the way to Mars, and then he actually laid claim to the planet. And they said that, oh, this is one of the earliest recordations of someone claiming this portion of the planet. So legally, this belongs to him. This belongs to his wife. This belongs to their descendants. And they found some of their descendants who were actually living on the settlement on the planet as well. and they gave them the planet, and they named the planet after the wife, family. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you got to be willing to go all the way, family. Go all the way for the ones that you love. But guess what? This actually semi-real story based on a real story. I have a book out. It's called My Beautiful and Loving Wife. I love my wife so much that I wrote a whole book about her, family. You can get it at dandyandbigherm.com. But in this book, I talk about how I gave my wife a planet. NASA had a program to where you could send your name to Mars on a plaque that was attached to one of the rovers, the Perseverance rover. So I signed up to have me, my wife, and my whole family names written on a plaque and taken all the way to Mars. And that was legitimately something that I was trying to do, to be one of the most romantic men in history. And I wrote a book about my wife, my beautiful and loving wife, my love for her, our love story together, to illustrate how much I love her. And so I went from being unromantic to the most romantic man in the world. So if you like that story, if you want to see what that story is quasi based on, then go to dandyandbigherm.com and order my book, My Beautiful and Loving Wife by Matthew Daniels. Damn, light went out on me. Hey, I guess that's time. I guess that means the video is over, huh? Hold on, man. I guess that means the video. All right, you guys, man. Y'all see how it's early in the morning. I'm sitting in the car, man. Let me get myself to work, man. You awesome. You amazing. You wonderful. I love you. You guys are going to change the world. I just hope I'm still alive to see it. Hotel family, y'all have a good one. I'm out.